Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Kaplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, and today we're talking about the real estate market from two different perspectives at the same time. The agent's perspective and the investor's perspective. My guests are Drew and Matthew. Drew Armstrong, Matthew Flinders. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Heather.
Thank you. Thanks for having us again.
I always love having you guys on. You are lifelong, forever friends and experts in the Utah industry. You're professionals that work both in residential and commercial real estate. And most importantly, you both invest in real estate yourselves, which I love.
We do.
It's fun to talk shop about all your new projects, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But right now, I really want to talk about how much noise there is about rates and affordability and prices and whether buyers should wait or get in the market. So today we're going to separate the headlines from the opportunities. First and foremost, though, I want to hear brief intros about both of you guys so that our KSL friends know who you are.
All right. Well, I'm Matthew Flinders, and Drew and I have been selling real estate a long time. I've been selling since 1996. Drew's been selling since 1995. We looked like we were 18 when we started.
Because you were.
Because we were. It's our first job, basically.
It really is our only profession. Matthew got a marketing degree and then straight out of school started selling real estate. And I had a little bit of a head start, and I got a broker's license and a general contractor's license back in 1997. So we've been doing this for a while.
Right. So we've closed well over 2,000 transactions, just the two of us. We've had agents that work for us that we're not counting in that number, buyer's agents and things like that. So we've really been around in the market. I mean, we've got a good feel for things. I think we've got a good perspective when we help people. We really look out for lots of things for them.
You're very experienced, and I will give you a plug. You guys are hustlers. You guys work so hard.
We are hustlers. I spent a couple hours on the phone this morning making calls looking for some warehouse space for a client.
That's awesome. And you're very high tech.
Yeah, I've been the committee chair for the Association of Realtors a couple of times for the tech committee because they recognize that I like gadgets, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think that if there are when I started, I was so young. I was looking for something that people respected young people for. Because I got my real estate license when I was 24. Now I'm 55, so almost 56 this month. But I said, what do people look at young folks for? And the realtors that I was working with always had their kids and their grandkids coming in, teach them how to use the computer and things. Because when we started, the multiple listing service was still in a big old paper phone book, and people would get ready for showings by taking that big phone book to the copy machine and photocopying the pages out of it. And so when we started getting a computerized multiple listing service even and everything, people would have their kids come try to teach them how to use it because their kids were more comfortable with technology. And I'm like, that's me. That's going to be my secret advantage in real estate. And it has been for my whole career.
I think so as well. And not only are you very, very both high-techy, but you also do drones, you do photos, you do Matterport, you do all the things so that when people are looking for homes online, they're shopping. Before they even go to a home, they're looking at that first, and I think that gives you a real advantage.
Right. Drew's a professional photographer. He's got, if you ever want to see any of his stuff, it's drewarmstrong.com. And he was when we were just starting in real estate, he was in Newsweek the magazine for his digital photography. Guys out there using digital cameras to make flyers and do all the stuff that we did, and he's stuck with the photography forever. He's a licensed drone pilot, does a lot of the big pictures that you see in city buildings and dental offices and stuff like that. If they're pictures of Utah, you can look down in the corners and sometimes see Drew's name on a bunch of those. And and we do that for our clients, and we're really flexible. One of the things about when you're selling real estate, selling a house, selling a property, is a lot of times that they, we're going to be ready on Saturday for pictures, or we're going to be ready on Tuesday, and then they call us like, hey, we need another day or two, and we're like, no problem, we just bump the time, because we can be really flexible and then really fast when we are ready to get the pictures and then hit the market.
One thing I love about both of you is you've been in the market for a long, long time. Like Drew had mentioned, over probably 30 years. So you know a lot of other real estate agents. You have great relationships with them. You have a great reputation in the industry. People like working with you because they know that the transaction will go well. It will be done correctly. You dot the I's and cross the T's, which I always appreciate as an agent.
I just sold a property where, there were two offers on the property, ours and someone else's. They picked our offer, and then the agent texted me and said, hey, just so you know, the other offer was higher, but everything about your offer was so dialed in, and I knew it would go smoothly if we picked you, and so we picked you. And I screenshotted that and sent that to my clients, and they were extra excited, made them feel good about that.
That's so cool. Okay, so let's just mention some current market stats right now. The Utah Association of Realtors reported June 2026 home sales were up 4.5% year over year. Home prices up 2.1% and home for sale up 0.4%. Tell me your thoughts and feelings about that.
In June, that was true. And then interest rates have been kind of bumping up, as everybody knows. And in July, we've seen things shift around a little bit. And we've noticed that a lot of sellers are giving a lot more in concessions than they have been. Builders are, when you look at these broad market statistics, you see these, like the average person, the average buyer's getting $10,000 or something like that in Utah, but that's a little skewed because they're counting the builders, and the builders are giving bigger concessions and rate buy downs and things like that. But another interesting thing to me was it's about 65% of homes are selling below asking price, and then it's the others are selling about asking price or a little bit more. And it's interesting. I was perusing some of the recent sales and just looking at some things, and I noticed that the houses that were selling the best are typically working with a good, experienced agent who's helping get everything dialed in right, getting the price right, getting the condition right, getting everything just right, and then listing it, and then getting those asking price offers or above asking price offers still.
I think people are a little concerned about the market with the war in Iran that keeps ending. It's going to be done tomorrow. It's going to be done tomorrow or next week. We'll have it finished. And so I think it's gotten to the point where people are a little bit uncertain. And because of that, when the markets become a little bit uncertain, rates are not as great as they have been. They've bumped up a little bit, but at the same time, just to give us a little perspective, is that our rates are exactly the same as they were last August and exactly the same as they were the August before. And so it's not like, I mean, it was exciting because they have dropped a little bit, in December and January. I mean, for a week, we saw it under 6%, and now we're at about 6.75%. And I think that what will happen is when the war really ends, I would guess that we'll see 0.75% to 1% rate drop over the 60 days following that, if it really does settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
So
For sure. And I believe the best time to buy real estate is rarely when everybody feels comfortable. Opportunity often appears when everybody else is hesitating. Let's talk about Salt Lake County's median home price right now is approximately $645,000 in Q2 2026. So it's up roughly 5% from a year earlier. So people always ask, should I just sit on the sidelines and wait for interest rates to go down? What's your quick 30-second advice to that?
We don't have enough supply. And so as long as we don't have enough supply, I just don't see how prices are going to come down. So unless supply increases dramatically somehow, I just don't see that happening.
And I think the market is not really behaving uniformly. There's price point, there's location, there's property condition, and financing strategies. That really can change the experience for a buyer or a seller in many times.
There are some areas of our market, some communities where prices actually are a little bit lower than they were a year ago, but that's not the norm. That's the exception to the rule. In general, things have gone up about 3.5% over the course of the past year, and so we still are seeing appreciation.
Yeah, and the takeaway really is that there's no single Utah market. There are individual markets, neighborhoods, price points, and deals, and the people who understand those differences have a real advantage. If you're looking for your own personal home, definitely look at that neighborhood. You may spend a little more to get what you want when you're personally going to live there. However, if you're an investor, look for the best deal. When we come back, we're going to switch hats from homeowners to investors and ask a very different question. Where is the money in real estate right now? Today we have Drew Armstrong, Matthew Flinders on the show with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The most effective people at work aren't working harder than everyone else. They're working smarter inside better systems. Superhuman Go, from the makers of Grammarly, is the AI chat that works inside every tool you already use. Always ready and already aware of what you're working on. It's a teammate whose only job is to help you be better at yours. With Go working with you, you can show off what you do best. See what Superhuman Go can do at superhuman.com. That's superhuman.com.
When you're a maintenance engineer in a beverage manufacturing plant, you keep production lines moving and quality on track because there's no room for slowdowns. With Grainger's vast selection of high-quality motors, sensors, belts, and hard-to-find parts, you can get what you need fast and all in one place, so nothing gets in the way of getting the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
60 minutes, that's all it takes. At Strong Volkswagen, we guarantee you can buy a car in under an hour, or we'll cover your first payment. That's our 60-minute promise. Only at Strong Volkswagen. Add a lifetime warranty, and there's simply no better place to buy.
We've spent 70 years learning what matters most to our customers.
Turns out, it's pretty simple.
Treat people right, respect their time, and stand behind every promise.
That's Strong Volkswagen. Visit strongvw.com.
Offer expires 9/30/26. See dealer for details.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of Thinkorswim, the award-winning trading platforms loaded with features that let you dive deeper into the market. Visualize your trades in a new light on Thinkorswim desktop with robust charting and analysis tools, all while you uncover new opportunities with up-to-the-minute market news and insights. Thinkorswim is available on desktop, web, and mobile to meet you where you are. It's built by the trading obsessed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of the Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores, and the proud new owner of the Best of State Company. I'm so excited about that. And today my guests are Drew Armstrong and Matthew Flinders. I love having them on the show because they don't just sell real estate, they invest in real estate. So it always makes for exciting and interesting conversations. An investor doesn't simply ask, do I like this property? They usually ask, what does this property do for me? And what's the ROI or return on investment for this property? And a lot of that is just being shopped online. It's not even going to look at the specific property. It's the charts and graphs and the numbers. It's a numbers game. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, absolutely. We've got investors out there. Drew and I are selling a couple of big apartment buildings right now. And it's interesting. There's a thing called a cap rate. And if you don't know what a cap rate is, there's a gross cap rate. You take all the income from a property, and add that up for the year and then divide it by the purchase price. And that's how you'll get what's called a gross cap rate. And then if you happen to have what the expenses are and you take those out, on some of these properties, you might see 25, 26% up to 35% expenses. And you take that out and then you divide that by the purchase price. That'll give you the net cap rate. And we're seeing cap rates, they're still, we're selling property where the cap rates are still below the current interest rates on properties. So,
so I think a lot of people don't know what you're talking about with a cap rate. So the idea behind a cap rate is that it makes it so that people can compare two dissimilar properties and decide which one is going to be the better investment. That's what's important. And so sometimes you have different capitalization rates within different product categories. And so if you have, for example, if you've got a really old apartment building versus a brand new condominium, and you say, okay, which one is going to be a better investment? The capitalization rate is the way that you can compare those two investments that seem like they're not the same thing and say, well, which one makes more sense to own? And that's one of those things that you can figure out yourself, and you kind of get used to whether or not you're comparing like commercial properties to residential properties or old versus new, and like, should I be able to get more for the location? Sometimes the demand in downtown Salt Lake for some things is a lot greater than it is in Tooele for the same type of property. And so obviously the price is going to be more because the cap rate will demand it. It'll generate that.
Yeah. Right now we've got a 5-plex for sale with a really high cap rate, but it's an older 5-plex, and the owner's gone through and made probably about $100 and something thousand worth of renovations recently, but there's still another. We were calculating it ourselves, and probably $125,000 left of renovations to do for this property, and they want to sell it, and so we're selling it for them. And so if you're interested in a property like that, go to utahrealestate.net and look up me or Drew and give us a call. We'll happy to send you the information on that one. And then we've got 2 apartment buildings that we're selling right now that have been completely redone. I mean, all the way down to the shell and just completely remodeled in a really neat downtown location. And
new sheetrock
even the sheetrock. I mean, down to the electrical and the plumbing and everything. The guy that did these really put in quality stuff, and so that property, has a lower cap rate, and it's the kind of property that we're going to sell it to someone who just sold a business or just sold some land or something like that, and they're looking for that
easy
turnkey kind of like just plug it in and then get that mailbox money that some people are trying to do.
So investing in real estate can be a lot of fun, but it can be a hassle as well. I own a lot of real estate, and I have property management companies that manage the day-to-day. So when we get, a toilet that is no longer working or the air conditioning isn't working, I'm not the person that they're calling, and it is like having an employee that will manage those for you. So if you're listening today and you're like, oh, this is just way beyond anything I can do, there are ways to do that. If you each had $1 million to invest today, where would you put it?
$1 million. I'd probably go and do a little bit of developing with Drew. We'd go start another project. We just built a mixed-use building. Drew's a general contractor. We did it ourselves. It's a beautiful building. In fact, it's on Pleasant Grove Main Street. It's like this old Main Street that's just been old for a long time. And we built this building, and it is beautiful. We had a really neat architect. Drew really did some neat stuff with the brick. It's the tallest building on Main Street now with a rooftop deck, and it's all filled up. We've got the commercial filled out with the booth house and a few of my favorite things, and a skateboard shop, and and
Cam's Cookies.
And
those are amazing cookies, by the way. If you're in Pleasant Grove, pull over right now. Yes, so good.
Go see our building and check out downtown Pleasant Grove. It's turning around.
It's beautiful.
So I think that's what we would do, but it's different all the time. I mean, what would you do if you had $1 million, Heather, right now, just to spend and put into something?
So right now I own an 1.5 acres over by the Traverse Mountain Strap Tank, and there's a Hyatt hotel. And so I actually will be investing over $1 million in a new shopping center right there. And I already have tenants knocking on the door wanting to lease and giving me LOIs and contracts saying, I want to be a tenant in your space.
Build this way for me.
So I need to get on that. In all my free time, I'm going to be working on that. This is awesome. Today we have Drew Armstrong and Matthew Flinders on the show with us. It's always great to have you guys because not only are you real estate agents for residential, but also commercial. You represent buyers and sellers. And real estate investing is not necessarily about buying a property and hoping it goes up. It's about buying the right asset at the right basis with a plan, and you guys help give advice to buyers and sellers, which I really appreciate. Coming up next, we're going into commercial real estate because office, retail, industrial, and multifamily are telling very different stories right now. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
More people, more devices, more AI. The way we live today takes a lot of energy. Wind and solar are powerful, but not always available. That's where natural gas comes in, with reliable energy whenever it's needed. Companies like Energy Transfer work behind the scenes, safely transporting these resources to facilities across the country through a network of underground pipelines. Learn more at ittakes.energy.com.
Ever walk past a place for rent and wish you could just take a peek inside? Maybe even explore the layout. Envision the natural light streaming through the windows. Or plan where your vinyl record collection would go. At Apartments.com, you can. With tools like their 3D virtual tours, you can see the exact unit you could be living in. Really envision yourself in your new home with Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Kaplan on KSL News Radio.
We're back on the KSL Real Estate Show with Drew Armstrong and Matthew Flinders, two of the best real estate agents in the entire state of Utah. I adore both of you. You work so hard, and I really appreciate your advice and your expertise in this industry. We previously have been talking about residential real estate, commercial real estate, how we help other people make their dreams come true and make money, but also we were talking about our own investing. So let's get a little candid and talk about maybe the humble beginnings of Drew Armstrong, Matthew Flinders, and Heather Osmond as we've invested in our own real estate, the good stories, the bad stories, and everything in between. Maybe Drew, you go first.
Okay.
This could be way longer than an hour show. I'm just saying, but try to make it short.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the first investment property that I bought, and it's interesting because we believe in it enough that with our staff over the years, we've always told them, if you buy a duplex or a fourplex or something as your first property, because you can buy one of those as an owner occupant when you're young with like 5% down. Up to a fourplex. And so we always tell them, if you will buy a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex, we will give you the commission as a perk for working for us. But if you buy a house or a townhouse, we get the money. You don't get it. So because we want to encourage them to do that, because I think that's the way most people build wealth in this country. And we have a ton of our past clients are real estate investors at this point, and it's made a big difference in their lives. But my first one, I was about 30, and I'd been selling real estate for 5 or 6 years, and I'm like, okay, it's time. And I ended up buying a duplex that was right below BYU. And this thing, I remember it cost me $143,000, and the interest rate, which is interesting, was almost 7%. So it sounds familiar, right? Mm-hmm. So I was upside down, even at 140, I think it was 143 or 148,000. I was upside down. After I collected the rent, I had to contribute $250 a month. And you look at that and go, oh, well, $250 a month. But this is like a long time ago.
And you were broke at the time. You didn't even have $250 a month.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to do that. But what that meant is that as a young guy, I mean, one thing that I did have is I had a little expertise and I had a lot of time. And so I became the roofer. I was the plumber. I was the electrician. I was the property manager. I mowed the lawn. I took care of everything myself because I didn't have the money to do that. But, it took me about 3 years. And in that time, I was able to refinance the property at 5% instead of almost 7%. And I raised the rents up because I improved the property by repainting it, putting carpets in. And I built a huge living room into an extra bedroom. So I had 3 bedrooms instead of 2 bedrooms. And I was able to turn it around to where my rents were enough higher that I went from a negative 250 to a positive about 350 in about 3 years. And so that made a difference. And, I sold that one for that last year. I had it for 23 years and I sold it last year and bought a different one that we're going to build on. So.
And look at you now. I mean, people look at Drew Armstrong and think, that guy has made it, and they have no idea about the blood, sweat, and tears, and all the
to
things
plunge.
that you did.
I think Drew should take a step back and talk about the very first house he bought. You bought the house, and then you rented it out to all your friends.
I was single.
Lived in the basement and rented out the primary bedroom to a friend and all these things like that.
Yep. And
shared a bedroom in the basement to build equity and to buy. And that's the kind of guy Drew is. So, and then my first thing that I bought, I saved and saved and saved and saved. In fact, I lived in one of my dad's, he had an apartment complex and he would let us live there for free or reduced rent. And I was living in there. I got married, and I would have just lived in there for the rest of my life, probably just saving all my money up. But finally my wife was like, "We gotta have a house.
We're not doing this.
Right.
Good for your wife."
And so I bought my house, but I was super debt adverse, so I had the lender do a 5-year custom mortgage. So I was going to pay the whole thing off in 5 years. And I saved and saved and saved and saved. And to buy my first rental property, and I went to the lender, and he's like, "You either need a huge pay raise or you need to refinance. Like I've been telling you this whole time, dummy." And so I refinanced.
Because he had this huge house payment because he was going to pay it off in 5 years.
Course.
Right. So I couldn't qualify for my
He's eating hot dogs and ramen noodles. And
we had
Isn't this great, honey? Look at us.
We had all used furniture.
Of course you
did.
did.
Everything except when we had a baby, we got like a crib,
a new crib.
a new one. But everything else was all used. And we, drove like older cars that were paid for. I still do that. And then,
well, he had to refinance his house at the same time he bought the new property because otherwise he couldn't qualify. And he was making good money at that point. But when you have a $4,000 a month house payment in 25 years ago because you're going to pay it off in 5 years, it wouldn't work.
It would not work.
I really haven't changed that much this whole time.
You're so conservative. You're such a numbers guy, Matthew.
I'm a
Your
number
poor
cruncher.
wife.
Right.
I love it. And look at you now. Are you kidding me? You guys are both killing it.
We're
impressive.
killing it in some
Matthew
way.
got dragged kicking and screaming into some good fortune.
It's a good fortune. And now you're living the best life.
What about you? I know your story. I remember.
Yeah. So Humble Beginnings, we actually all worked in the same real estate office together.
We
were
did.
all broke.
In the early 90s.
Early 90s. It's actually how I started my Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design store because I just got tired of having the same things as 7 of my neighbors that also shopped at the same big box store back in the day. And so my humble beginnings were we wanted to buy our first home. I was 19 years old when I purchased my first home, was married, and my husband was 24. He had a great job, but he had a very expensive, nice car, and he had a lot of debt on the car, and we needed a down payment. And I had a car that was paid off, and so we used that, of course, as these are the things that we own, but we're in the negative overall.
Right.
And we needed a down payment for a home. So I decided, well, I like homes. I've gone to the Parade of Homes for years and years and years growing up, and I think it would be really fun to be a real estate agent because it's a glorified Parade of Homes every single day. And I would go into people's homes and I'd be horrified. And anyway, but as part of getting my down payment to purchase my first home, I ended up getting my real estate's license, which was 3%, which was the amount that I needed for my down payment. And we purchased this home and it had an unfinished basement. And much like you guys, we lived in the basement, but first we had to finish it. My husband had no framing experience, no construction experience. And he just got in and he hustled and he figured it out. And we bribed friends with pizza and sandwiches and hamburgers. And we had lots of family and friends coming over to work for free until we didn't have any friends anymore because no one wanted to be our friend.
Don't answer her calls.
Don't answer the call. They're going to come and ask us to paint or do something. But we had used cabinets that were pulled out of apartment complexes. That tells you how horrible they were. And we painted them white, and we thought they were amazing. And we went to Home Depot, and we purchased used tile that was in their clearance section that was, almost free because it was so ugly. And we thought that was the coolest thing. We had used carpet that we had cleaned. Seriously, it was horrific. Used appliances. My poor parents and his parents would probably come over and think that we needed intervention and they needed to kidnap us out of there. But we were so happy. And we lived in that basement. We rented the upstairs for our entire mortgage. I actually get emotional talking about it, but we only paid for utilities.
Right.
And we saved and we saved and we loved every minute of it. And we bought our next house.
If you understand what your goal is, it's easy to be happy with a lot less than you think.
For sure. And we had friends that were living in beautiful condos with swimming pools and they were driving new cars. And we were pretty homely and we didn't go out to eat. We made our food because we couldn't afford it.
Right.
But we had big goals, just like you mentioned, Drew.
I had big goals. I remember that, and I read Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Love
and
that
then
book.
The Millionaire Next Door, and I was like, big hat, no cattle. You know when they'd go driving by and their car's super nice, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, and now we're all living in the bougie houses with the new cars and all the things if we wanted to buy them, and other people are still renting that condo with the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So work now or work later, it's just priorities. It's about having goals and working towards those. How do people find you? Drew Armstrong, Matthew Flinders.
Go to utahrealestate.net and give us a call.
Call Matthew. Yeah.
Call
Matthew. You get 2 for the price of 1, which I love that you guys are like, call the other person.
We're 50-50 business partner. We share everything. We don't even look who's doing what, and we share all of it. So we don't care who you call. You get both of us if you hire us. and UtahRealEstate.net. In fact, Drew, they announced UtahRealEstate.com, the MLS website. Drew went out the next day and bought UtahRealEstate.net, and I was like, I don't know if the internet's really going to ever be that big of a deal.
It was in 1997.
Oh.
And that's what happened.
I love that. And I think every home, every real estate transaction, every purchase has a story. And it's so fun to hear your stories, your good stories, your bad stories. I remember Drew Armstrong one year, he was telling me how he was painting one of his clients' properties. And he went in the bathroom because he had spilled paint all over, right? One of your pants and your pant legs. And so you took your pants off to put it in the sink, and then people walked in.
Yep.
I died. I thought it was so great. I mean, so many fun, crazy experiences. Last but not least, in this segment, we need to give a shout out to Central Bank.
Let's do it.
Are incredible. They support our community. They've been in business for over 130 years. And if you need a loan, a real estate loan, because you're going to buy a home, a construction loan.
Construction lot loans.
Lot loans. They do car loans, all the things. Please reach out to Central Bank and support them. They're local, which I love. I know I'm always an advocate of shopping local because I know how hard I work in my small business, and I like to give back and support others that are doing the same. After the break, we're going to put Matthew and Drew on the spot with predictions, rapid fire questions, and their best advice for buyers, sellers, and investors right now. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
You know that thing that you love? You'll find others geeking out about it on Facebook. Whether you're looking for community or inspiration, Facebook helps turn passion into action. Obsessed with running a marathon? Discover a neighborhood run club group. Start training and meet your new neighbor. Thinking about cooking more at home? Connect with meal prep groups to discover recipes in a new community. And as you're scrolling the feed, you may even find reels showing you top running shoes or the best tools for your culinary journey. This summer, find more on Facebook.
More people, more devices, more AI. The way we live today takes a lot of energy. Wind and solar are powerful, but not always available. That's where natural gas comes in, with reliable energy whenever it's needed. Companies like Energy Transfer work behind the scenes, safely transporting these resources to facilities across the country through a network of underground pipelines. Learn more at ittakesenergy.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know what's not a great use of time? Getting data ready for AI. That's why IT leaders turn to CDW. We help unify data and govern it, building the foundation for your AI and agents to deliver results. Because when your data is ready, AI stops being an experiment and becomes an advantage. We configure, optimize, and deliver the tech that runs business. CDW. Make amazing happen.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to our final segment of today's KSL Real Estate Show. We've talked about residential real estate, investing, and commercial real estate, and now I want to look forward. But before we do that, school started this week. All the kids are back in school.
Yay!
We can't relate because we're old now and our kids are out of school, but you know, props to all those moms and dads that get a little bit of time back, which is awesome.
You made it through the summer.
You survived entertaining the kids. Now you get to go home and realize, you know, I don't really love my sofa. I need to remodel my house. It's usually what happens in the fall. And at Osmond Designs right now, we're having a sale. Our entire store is an additional 20% off the lowest mark price. And we're having an interior design consultation sale, which is $99 per hour.
That's so worth it.
One of our dream team designers will come into your home and help you either reorganize what you currently have or help you decide what works, what doesn't work, and make some suggestions. So it's a lot of fun.
A combination of both. I think it's so worth it. We've had clients who've had your designers over and they'll work with their existing furniture before we put it for sale. And then, clients will call me up and joke and be like, I don't know if I want to move anymore. I really like the way, all the problems are solved and it looks so much better in here.
It's like having a new house without moving.
It's true. I think there's a show about that, an HGTV show, speaking of which. Okay, let's continue. Rapid fire. Matthew and Drew, I want you to answer these questions independent without looking at each other. Would you buy or rent?
Buy.
Buy.
Residential or commercial?
Let's start with residential.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Cash flow or appreciation?
Cash flow.
Appreciation.
Salt Lake County or Utah County?
Utah County.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing, but that's only because that's what we're really, really more familiar with. I went to Granite High.
There we go. New construction or existing home?
Right now, the existing homes are more expensive than new construction, so I'd consider both.
I think I'd go for an existing home. I think there are some things that you almost get for free by buying an existing home that you have to pay for over the first couple of years that you own the new construction.
Yeah, and I think one thing people don't take into consideration with new construction is you still have to buy your refrigerator, you still have to buy your window coverings, and oftentimes your landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A fence.
Yep, or a fence as well. Exactly. Single family rental or multifamily?
Multifamily.
Yeah, I like multifamily too. When you have purchased multifamily, you never end up with that entire property vacant at the same time. I like that.
For sure. Okay, office, industrial, or retail?
I'd say...
Not office. Let me put it that way.
Anything but office right now.
We sold some industrial this year, and we've sold retail, and we're leasing out retail space. If you can afford it, industrial is awesome.
If you can find it is the other thing
too,
yeah,
but
right?
It's hard to. I mean, it depends.
It's a different buyer.
If you can afford it, but the cost to entry is tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Fixed rate or adjustable rate?
Depends.
Fixed.
Usually fixed, but it depends on what your plan is. But even then, I prefer fixed because you can count on it.
But some of your commercial loans are going to be, like you've maybe got a 3-year fixed or 5-year fixed or 7.
Yeah, for sure. Buy now or wait 6 months?
Now.
I think now.
We always say now.
It's not always now. At the end of 2008, I only sold 2 houses to buyers in 2000, right before the crash.
Yeah.
I talked everybody else out of it.
Wow.
Yep.
Look me up on the MLS. You can look up that year and you can see. I only sold 2 houses for
60
buyers.
sellers, 2 buyers.
And I will also say and add to that by saying you can always find a great deal in any market.
Right,
so if no one else is buying, maybe it's a good time to go and throw out some lowball offers and see if you can get killer deals on stuff if you have the cash.
I think rates are going to be lower later. And when those rates drop, we're going to have people that have been off the market waiting to get into something, fighting with other people to see who can give the seller the most money.
So true. Okay, one word to describe Utah real estate in 2026.
It's a tight market. That wasn't a one-word answer, sorry.
That was a few extra. Bonus.
Variable.
Ooh, all right. Drew Armstrong and Matthew Flinders, thank you so much for joining us today. If there's one thing I hope listeners take from today, it is this. Headlines tell you what happened to the average market, but wealth is often built by understanding the specific opportunities that are sitting in front of you, knowing what the market is, knowing your area, doing your research before you're getting in is so important. Whether you're buying your first home, selling, building a portfolio, or considering commercial real estate, information matters, but strategy matters even more. I'm Heather Osmond, and this is the KSL Real Estate Show. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we'll see you next week.